Okay, so now we're going to learn how EXTREVA ASE is innovative. So Gopal, can you walk us through what are the very innovative features you talked about before in the previous segment about the ACE technology, which we all know is maybe over 30-year-old now. So how is EXTREVA different and innovative compared to the traditional ACE technology?
That's a good question. So if you look at the ACE technology and if you look at our EXTREVA ASE, the EXTREVA ASE is built on ACE technology, but we improve the ACE technology with a patented technology. So the patented technology is basically gas assisted and dynamic extraction. What that means is that you are mixing nitrogen gas with the solvent and under high pressure. So what it does is basically break your solvent down into very tiny droplets. And what it does is basically force the solvent very deep into your matrices. And that helps tremendously to bring your analyte out from that complicated matrices. And in terms of the dynamic approach, that's really also a game-changing technology because it helps with your diffusion basically. So once you have your certain amount of solvent, you are transferring your analyte from your matrices to the solvent, but then you let it go to your collection valve and putting the new solvent in there. So that helps the transfer of analyte tremendously.
So you're getting like fresh solvent every time.
Yeah. So within that, let's say you have a 5-minute extraction, but within that 5-minute extraction, you are putting fresh solvent continuously and letting it go. So that's dynamic approach is very, very helpful in extraction process.
And let me stop you there for a second. If I recall, Ed, you definitely know better than us, but it's my recall that typically ACE methods were somewhere around 15 minutes or so for extraction. You said 5 minutes extraction.
Yes, it is.
And is it that because of the dynamic?
Yes, dynamic and gas assisted. I mean, like I said, ACE technology is already a superior technology, and when you build on top of that and add these features, it's really untouchable.
That sounds pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, awesome.
I have a follow-up question, Gopal. So that pertains to the level sensing system. Is this something you would normally find in other instruments from our competitors, or is this a unique feature from the EXTREVA ASE?
It's definitely a unique feature of EXTREVA ASE. And generally, people either have to manually look at their levels. There is no way they can do automatically. But with EXTREVA ASE, it's state-of-art technology basically. Like I said, you put load your samples, and you set your levels you want to go. That be 0.5 ml or 1 ml, and our level sensing technology will do that automatically.
Perfect. Thank you.
And very precisely.
So it is my understanding that typically with manual methods, right, like 1633 as written and any other US EPA methods, the materials, labware, glassware, plasticware used for the analysis is typically disposable, right? So worriness about carryover is mostly about the instrument used for detection, not so much about the instrument or the components used for extraction. But in the case of EXTREVA ASE, it's my understanding that some of these components are reusable. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. But we did a very extensive test on EXTREVA ASE to figure out its background, PFAS contamination. So we upgraded our EXTREVA ASE, the previous version, and we upgraded this EXTREVA with PEEK tubings and stainless steel tubing. So the PEEK tubing is coming from the solvent bottle to the mixing valve, and from mixing valve to the pump is stainless steel. And when we did that upgrade, after that we tested the EXTREVA PFAS background, and you can see in our application note that the PFAS background is way below the MDL of EPA suggested.
Right, so that guarantees low background from solvents to the fluidic components of the instrument. But what about like when you actually run samples? Like, have you tested for, we don't have any carryover, and then we can trust the data sample after sample after sample?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Yes, of course, we did a carryover test, several actually carryover test. We ran high concentration samples, SRM samples, and we can see that the carryover is really minimum. I mean, it's way below the MDL. Only thing we can see is like 6 to FTS, but that's also way below the EPS MDL.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Yeah. Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you, Ed,
Thank
for
you.
your input.